You're listening to BFM 89.9, the business station.
Good afternoon, and it's time for Tech Talk. Solar energy has been around for a while now and is deemed by some as the next energy source for our future. IBC Solar Technique, a subsidiary of IBC Solar of Germany, is involved in providing the solar technology, especially in rural areas and schools in Sabah, Sarawak. And I'm here with me is Ahmad Nazri Ibrahim, the CEO of IBC Solar Technique. There have been discussions on different renewable energies to be practiced in this country. So how can solar energy make a difference in creating a better environment?
Thank you, Frida, for having me here. First and foremost, the question that I normally ask people when they ask me about solar energy is, how much a price you want to put on a technology for the future, to save the environment for your future generations? You cannot put a price on that. All right. So there are many alternatives to renewable energies, but as far as I'm concerned, I think the best is still solar energy.
Right.
Because solar energy is in abundance. We have sun for 365 days as compared to other parts of the world. So the issue here is, why are we not tapping into that?
Okay. How is this solar technology designed, installed, and maintained? And does it affect the environment? Is it actually green? The development of solar technology itself.
It is the cleanest. There's no byproducts. It has no moving parts. It is easy to maintain. It is easy to install. And it provides a lot of power that is required throughout the world. Now, Europe, America, and other developed countries are using solar energy tremendously, and they are still promoting the use of solar energy, even though they have matured in their system. But why are we not doing it? Why are we not following this?
Okay, as I mentioned, I've heard of stories where the technology to develop these solar panels actually is harmful to the environment. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, there are certain technology which could be harmful to the environment if you don't treat it carefully. So the issue here is, if the containment procedure is taken care of, that should not be an issue. So it is important for the government to make sure that companies producing solar panels using these technologies has got good containment procedures.
Okay, and what is this containment procedure? Or
how to store the waste product,
right?
And eventually how to dispose of it. Because some of the product, for example, like the chemical that is used to produce the panels, like cadmium telluride solar cells, it could be harmful to the environment, the byproduct. Mm-hmm. But if you treat it well, the containment procedures are there. The integrity of the containment procedure is not questionable, and the disposal procedure is there. Then it should not be a problem.
All right. With your parent company, IBC Solar of Germany, how long have they been in the industry?
We have been around for about 28 years now.
All right.
And throughout the world, we have done more than 100,000 installations worldwide, with a total installed capacity of 1 gigawatt.
1 gigawatt. Okay. Compared to other renewable energies available, does solar energy have a better potential to overcome the climate problems faced in today's world?
Yes, it will. Certainly it will. Because once we start using more renewable energies like solar, then we have less dependence on conventional power plants. Once conventional power plants start running at a lower capacity, then a lot of pollution will be lessened in terms of its release into the atmosphere. For example, like carbon dioxide and so on and so forth, and the burning of fossil fuels.
And there have been assumptions that the country's production of petrol and gas are coming to an end. Therefore, why is the government interested in solar energy compared to other renewable energies available? Or do you disagree with that?
Well, my personal view would be that we have to embark on this. Other countries are doing this, then we should follow as well. Because if the thing is good, why not do it?
Mm. Would you compare, when you talk about renewable energy sources, what about biofuel as another source?
Biofuel can be done, but the problem here is that the technicalities of it is not well known to the public, because it could be quite costly as well, because the additive that is required to produce biofuel can be quite expensive.
Okay, quite expensive?
So, yes, right. So the cost element, it will still be there.
Okay. From the financial aspect, including production and process, does solar energy have a better hand than the others?
Since I'm in the solar industry, I would say yes, of course, certainly, Frida.
Prove it.
Certainly, I would say yes.
All right. How so?
In what sense?
You say if it's actually that they, in terms of the financial aspect of production and process, does it actually work out as a better return on investment?
It would, because the solar power plant will run for the next 25 years. We have got record in Germany of solar power plants going back 30 years, and it's still running. So I think that the basic standard is that they set it at 25 years, but there are systems still running 30 years.
Okay.
So which means to say your capital expenditure, upfront expenditure for setting up the system could be high, but eventually you reap in the benefits at the end of the day, not just financial benefits, but benefits in saving the environment.
All right. So what are the benefits that can be gained through solar energy from the government's point of view?
Well, certainly number one is educating the public about saving the environment, creating less pollution. We have we can create a lot more industry, because, for example, countries like Europe, or in particular Germany, where the solar industry has matured, it provides a lot of opportunities for employment to their people, as well as revenue for the government in return for the development of the solar technology, because the technology is still in Germany. The biggest producer for solar technology
Is Germany.
Yes.
All right.
Still is number one.
And what are the advantages that solar energy offers to benefit the people in rural areas in Sabah and Sarawak?
I have a passion for that, because personally speaking, Frida, Sabah, for example, like Sarawak, it secured its independence from the British about 40 over years ago. But due to constraints, financial constraints and physical constraints, the setting up of the national grid to cover the remote areas are very difficult to do and very expensive. So the issue would be, how long do we keep them in the dark? So it became a passion for me last year that we have to do something about this. So the technology in Germany is such that by using solar energy, we can create mini grids. We don't have to rely on the main grid, the national grid of Malaysia. We create mini grids in remote areas and get them connected. So what we did was, IBC Solar did a donation system, about a 20 kilowatt system in Sarawak, using solar energy. It's called the hybrid system. It's coupled with a genset system to provide power for a village in Krapas Park, Sarawak, for about 500 people staying there. And I'm happy to tell you that since last month, the place is now connected. To get to that place takes about 6 to 7 hours by boat and by four-wheel drive.
From Kuching.
And it is so remote, there is no communication whatsoever. But now I'm happy to tell you, it is now connected.
And how much did that whole venture cost?
It costs, we cap it at about 4 million. Either way, we say we're not going to spend more than that. So we try here and there just to cut the cost, but nevertheless, it costs millions.
All right. Okay, and we're going to take a little breather for a moment. We're talking about IBC Solar Technic's plans to help the economic status in the whole of Malaysia a little bit more. BFM 89.9. Good afternoon, it's Tech Talk. Frida Liu here. I'm speaking to Ahmad Nazri Ibrahim, the CEO of IBC Solar Technic. We've been talking about the benefits of solar energy. Now, so you were saying that IBC Solar Energy has been recently responsible for development of rural areas in Sarawak through various solar energy projects. So how can this actually help increase the economic status of residences in rural areas?
One thing, in any development of any particular area, the basic infrastructure required is power, apart from communication and so on and so forth. Without power, there's not much you can do. You cannot help the people, you cannot have cottage industries because they need power. So the moment the power is supplied, the economic condition of those remote areas will greatly improve. Why? Basically because now they are connected. When it is connected, why I say connected, the moment there's power, we can have satellite communication. Once satellite communication is established, then we have internet. So the digital divide is bridged. Once digital divide is bridged, education of the people starts.
All right, and it starts with power.
It starts with power, basically, essentially. You need power. Without power, there's nothing much you can do into this technology crazy world. You need the energy.
So where were they getting their energy from? Gensets?
Currently, they are burning gensets about 1 or 2 hours per day. But you have to realize the cost is enormous, because 1 liter of diesel in remote areas in Sarawak costs about 12 ringgit and 50 cents, if I'm not mistaken, per liter. And as they carry those fuel, those diesel into the small containers up the hill for 6 or 5 hours, there are a lot of spillage. So it contaminates the earth as well.
Right.
So, and they can't burn, they cannot operate the genset for 365 days. The genset will go bust. So it's only for 1 hour or 2 hours per night. That is only the source of power they have. So the moment the genset is broken down or busted, then they will have no power.
Wow. Okay. And perhaps, talking about the IBC solar energy, perhaps you can illustrate the technology behind the IBC systems.
So the one that we set up in Sarawak is what we call a hybrid system. A hybrid system meaning solar coupled with another kind of power source, which is in this case is genset. We do not use wind power, even though certain parties has advocated wind power, because Malaysia is in a dead wind belt. There's not much velocity there. If there's no velocity, we cannot rely on wind. So neither can we rely on geothermal because we are not in the ring of fire. All right. So the best solution is still genset. So the system is such that it is about 80% solar and 20% genset. The genset doesn't kick in unless and until there's not sufficient sunlight to charge the battery bank.
Right.
Other than that, it runs on solar. And we are happy to note that the system that we have installed in other parts of Malaysia, like in Sabah for the rural schools, the consumption of diesel for backup purpose is only about 300 liters so far for 1 year. There's a lot of savings.
In comparison to what it was before?
Yes, because what it was before, the government was spending about $1 billion on fuel for the genset in rural areas.
Okay.
So if they can save 30% of that, there's a lot of money that can be channeled to other parts of the development of the nation.
All right. And you also saying that if IBC would be given the opportunity to encourage the system over larger participation, say, the 40 longhouses,
Right.
would IBC go about it the same way with the solar hybrid system or customize it in other ways?
We will do it, but we will look at the situation, the surrounding environment, and try to fit the particular situation the best that we can. But eventually, it will be very good.
Okay, so when you talk about what's happening in Krapas Park, right? What is the maintenance for this technology that's been installed?
Maintenance is quite minimal because there are no moving parts. That's the beauty of solar technology. The panel has no moving parts. It only produces direct current.
Okay.
The moment there's sunlight, and that's it. And we have a kind of system that thereby it cleans itself when it rains. So there is a slight elevation of about inclination of about 45 degrees. So whenever it rains, the water will wash away the dirt. So you only need about twice a year just to clean up the panels with some brush, and that's it. That's it. There's no other maintenance.
Okay, earlier on you were talking about the ring of fire geothermal technology. What is that?
That is tapping the heat from the earth, from the earth core.
Okay,
but unfortunately, Malaysia is not within that belt.
Okay, we don't have earthquakes,
which
is
volcanoes
a good thing.
and all that.
Okay, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now there is a perception that solar systems are expensive. Okay, why is that so? And what have you to say about that?
Okay, I'm gonna repeat what I said earlier, Frida. How much a price you want to put on saving the earth for future generations? Today, we are enjoying the environment because it's not so bad yet. What happens, 100 years down the road or 200 years down the road? For our future generations, for our children's children. So if we don't do something now, they are not going to be enjoying what we are enjoying today. So I think there should not be a price that is put on saving the environment. Nevertheless, the cost of solar installation has gone down tremendously. As the volume increases, certainly the cost of production is going to be lower than what it was 10 years ago, and so on and so forth. As what you can see today, even the prices are becoming cheaper and cheaper. And with the government coming in by having tax-free on the components of the solar installation, is even better.
All right, so there is a lot of political will in this area. Okay, so
and I thank the Prime Minister for having that kind of vision.
All right. And on that note, I've been speaking to Ahmad Nazri Ibrahim, the CEO of IBC Solar Technic. We're talking about solar technology. And tomorrow, Matt Armitage from culturepop.com returns on Tech Talk. BFM 89.9.
BFM 89.9, the business station.